So welcome to the Karshan FS show, Pointless Stories with Karshan FS. Apologies. This is episode number 19. We were just talking about Uber Sharif, and it's honestly a very clever title. The more and more I think of this, I can't I'm just unpacking the layers now, but it's beautiful. But in all honesty, we barely scratch the surface of our Uber stories and the serendipity that kind of surrounds our life. But I think on that same chord, let's just go back there, because I think the most beautiful moments of our lives are the ones that we least expect. And like I said, when there's no hope left, miracles happen. तो मौजज़े तो आ जाते हैं कभी कभी ज़िंदगी में. And where do you want to start this one, bud? Which journey are we going on now?
जी शुरुआत करने से पहले यार बस तो एक चीज पे मुझे बात करनी थी कि जो उबर शरीफ ये जो नाम रखा है
जी
it's something I thought of about a week ago when I knew that we'd be doing the podcast this weekend.
Yeah.
And ये नाम रखने के ना दो वजूहात हैं
जी.
पहली वजह तो ये है कि उमर शरीफ नाम याद आता है ये सुन के
जी.
जो ना हमारी जो बचपन की जो तमाम यादें हैं उनसे ये नाम तो it's right in the middle of it,
Yeah, true.
उस वक्त आपको याद होगा कि कैसेट टेप्स आते थे जो हम we would like rent what was it, like Screen Video.
Yeah.
It was the equivalent of Blockbuster, you would like
in theory it was a very run-down shop though, it did the same thing. It was very ghetto.
It was and often like the stuff they did was like less than legal.
It was very, very illegal, buddy. You remember the FBI warnings at the beginning? I don't think they knew how to read.
Yeah, dude, they would show women stealing from a store, and then
you wouldn't download a car. You remember that stupid shit? So dumb.
Oh my god.
I would if I could, what argument are you making here?
Who wouldn't,
Yeah,
Who
exactly.
wouldn't love to download a car?
Hey, you're propagating the idea you're against.
Seriously. But yeah, I remember we would get a lot of those cassette tapes from movies, even movies that hadn't come out yet. We would watch them because they'd already been released on the black market.
Yeah. We were part of the trade. Yeah.
And it would always have the same ads from Pakistan, ye candy kya hai? Ye kintu candy.
यार मुझे यकीन ही नहीं आ रहा कि आपकी याद कितनी खूबसूरत है, मगर यार पूरे फजूल है जैसे मेरी पूरे फजूल है. मतलब उस वक्त में अगर हमारे इम्तिहान था अगले दिन हमें कुछ याद नहीं होता यार, मगर 20 साल बाद वो जो ऐड थे जो मतलब एक किसी फिल्म की दरमियान जो ऐड थे वो हमें मुकम्मल याद है
भाई यही तो बात है ना कि हमें उस वक्त हमने जो स्कूल में पढ़ा था मुझे लान कुछ याद है पर ये एक ऐड जो मुन्ना भाई के इंटरवल में आया था और ये पता है आप कोई भी हमारी उम्र का कोई भी बंदा हो जो गल्फ में या तो गल्फ में रहा हो या पाकिस्तान से हो और को ये ऐड पूरा मुकम्मल तरह से याद होगा क्योंकि वो मुझे कोई भी पायरेटेड मूवी के बीच ना ये ऐड जरूर आता है
यार. और मुझे ये समझ भी नहीं आता कि कैसे पायरेटेड में इतने मतलब मशहूर हो गया ये ऐड. मतलब यार हर सही है कि आपके बाद मतलब सब में आते थे. और मैंने यार वैसे आपके एक कैसेट तो वैसे बोरो की थी जो एक बड़ी मतलब बहुत कामयाब फिल्म था. उसकी नाम था द पैसिफायर यार. चेंज माई लाइफ. मगर यार उसकी मतलब मैंने आपसे ली थी और यार मतलब स्टोरी इतने फैसिनेटिंग है कि मुझे लाजिम था कि इसके आखिर में क्या होते ये जानने. मगर बात ये है कि जब हम वो वहाँ तक आए तो उसकी बात तो आपने KBC की एपिसोड रिकॉर्ड की थी تو نہ مجھے یہ یاد ہے کہ پاسیفائر کے آخر کیا ہوتے ہے کہ ون ڈیزل کی مطلب یہ ویسے وہ فلم بے مقصد ہی لگتا ہے مجھے مگر مطلب پتہ نہیں کہ بے مقصد تھا کہ نہیں مگر اور وہ کے بی سی کی ایپیسوڈ یار وہ بھی ہمیں کچھ سکھایا نہیں کہ جو بھی سوال تھا اس میں وہ مطلب جاننے سے کوئی فائدہ ہمیں تو نہیں پڑتا ہے مگر یار بات صحیح ہے کہ کیسٹ ٹیپس کی ہمیشہ یہ مطلب اگر آپ خوش نصیب ہے تو مکمل فلم تو سمجھ سکتا ہے مطلب ہمیشہ مگر کوئی یقین نہیں رکھنا کیسٹ ٹیپ پر مطلب جب تک وہاں تک پہنچے نا کوئی مطلب وعدہ نہیں انشاءاللہ
بالکل بالکل ایسے ہی ہے کہ بیچ میں پتہ نہیں کہ وہ فلم سے کچھ اور ہی بدل جائے آخر میں.
جی
تو یار یہ ہوتا ہے نا کہ اس ٹائم کیسٹ میں یہ بلکہ ہمارے جنریشن سے بھی پہلے ایک جنریشن پہلے کی بات ہے. But you know we got to see a glimpse of that a little bit because it was in the early 90s. عمر شریف کے جو اسٹیج شوز تھے نا وہ بہت مشہور ہوتے ہیں.
ہاں یار
تو عمر شریف تو یار he is like an icon in Pakistan, you know, when it comes to entertainment. یہ نام تو یار ہر بندے کو معلوم ہوتا ہے کہ عمر شریف ایک بندہ ہوتا تھا.
جی
اور معین اختر بھی آپ کو یاد ہوگا.
ہاں جی یار صحیح.
تو یار یہ وہ ایک زمانہ تھا عمر شریف bro, everyone knew about him, you know, کہ آپ کو کیسے ٹیپس میں اس کے اچھے اسٹیج شو نظر آتے تھے کہ جیسے بڑا سا اسٹیج میں نا بڑا سا ایک گھر بنا ہوا ہے اور
یار سب مجھے بھی یاد آ رہے یار ابھی صحیح ہے سب یار صحیح ہے.
تو یہ پہلی وجہ تھی نا کہ عمر شریف سے جو تعلق ہے ہمارا اس کا ضرور ذکر ہونا چاہیے کیونکہ ہماری جب ہم یادوں پہ ہم باتیں کرتے ہیں جو ہماری خاص کر پرانی دوحہ کی یادیں ہیں تو اس میں یار عمر شریف تو لازمی ہے کہ یار یہ نام تو آنا چاہیے. جیسے ایک زمانے میں بسم اللہ ہوٹل نام ہوتا
یار بسم اللہ ہوٹل اب تک ہے مگر یار ویسے ہی ہے کہ کافی مشہور ہے آج کل بھی.
بالکل
یار جب ہم یہاں تھا ایک بار جاننا تھا وہاں کی کافی مشہور ہے چائے.
بے شک یار جانا چاہیے کیونکہ ابھی بھی میں نے اس کی یار پرانی تصویریں دیکھی ہیں اور میرے پاپا بھی بتاتے ہیں وہاں کے بارے میں.
جی
کیونکہ اس وقت تو کافی مشہور ہوتا تھا وہ.
ہاں یار اور یہاں کی جو امیر ہے وہ خود وہاں گئے تھے کافی مطلب اتنے سال پہلے نہیں مطلب کچھ سال پہلے مطلب وہ جاتا تھا اب بھی جاتا ہے.
یہ میں یہ ایگزیکٹ بات سوچ رہا تھا پتہ ہے it's just crazy میں نے بھی یہ سنا تھا یار اس کے بارے میں. But you know, it's one of those iconic things from our childhood, you know, like it's just if you know kind of things. تو اس کا ایک سمبل تو عمر شریف ہے جس you know who deserves a throwback in our title. پر اس کی وجہ جو تھی نا وہ یہ تھی کہ آپ نے دیکھا ہوگا کہ بر صغیر میں مطلب انڈیا پاکستان میں جو تمام مزاریں ہیں تمام درگاہیں ہیں ان کو اکثر ان کے نام کے آگے شریف لگتا ہے. جیسے آپ نے دیکھا ہوگا غور کیا ہوگا کہ اجمیر شریف جیسے نام ہے یا سیون you know سیون بھی ایک مشہور ہے. اور ساتھ میں نظام الدین میرا خیال میں نظام الدین کے سامنے نہیں لگتا ہے
شاید
پر نظام الدین اولیاء ہاں درگاہ ہی کہتے ہیں. ہاں شریف شاید نہیں کہتے پر اکثر it's like one of those things you know like it follows the name of like جو کافی جو عبادت گاہیں ہیں یا بر صغیر میں.
ہاں یار مگر یہ پاکستان کی کافی خاص بات ہے کیونکہ ہمارے ملک میں ایک تو بات ایسے نہیں کہتے اور دوسرا بات یہ ہے کہ جو بھی مطلب صرف پاکستان کی نہیں جب وہ مکہ کی بات کرتے ہیں تو حرم شریف کہتے ہیں. اور یار یہ جب مطلب اللہ پاک ہی بولتے وہ کہ وہاں بھی یہ مطلب کافی تمیز سے اور تہذیب سے ایسے جگہوں کی یاد کرتا ہے اور یہ یار بڑی خاص بات ہے.
جی بالکل یار یہ تو ہے. اور اس میں نے دیکھا ہے کیونکہ گردواروں میں بھی یہ it's similar where they have صاحب after the name of
گرو نانک صاحب. ہاں جی
ہاں جی بالکل, جو ان کی خاص کر جو بہت ہی اہم عبادت گاہیں ہیں ان کے آگے صاحب لگتا ہے, جس سے کیا نام ہے یار وہ منی کرن صاحب, ہیم کنڈ صاحب, جو ان کی بہت خاص گردوارے ہیں.
جی
تو عطیہ شریف بھی ایک برے صغیر کی ایک خاصیت ہے کہ کوئی بہت اہم جگہ کے آگے آپ شریف رکھتے ہیں, کوئی ایسی جگہ جہاں جا کے آپ کو سکون ملتا ہے اور آپ کو جو آپ کی جو تمام پریشانیاں ہیں وہ آپ دور ہو جاتی ہیں. تو میرے لیے maybe it's because Uber chats with Uber drivers are therapeutic and it's a form of therapy. پر اوبر شریف بھی ایک طرح کا نا ہمارے لیے ایک اہم علاقہ ہے
یار. ایک بات کہوں تو میں نے یہ سوچا نہیں تھا جب میں نے ٹائٹل سنا, جیسے میں نے کہا کافی لیئرز ہے آپ کی, مگر یار یہ تو بڑی خوبصورت ہے یار کہ اگر میں تھا اور میں ایسے بھی نہیں سمجھتا کہ میں بڑی مشہور رائٹر ہوں, مگر یار یہ میری ذہن میں نہیں ہوتا ہے کافی یار, مطلب I have to appreciate it, that's very clever.
Thank you. Like یہ چھوٹی چھوٹی چیزیں ہیں جن سے نا ابھی بھی تھوڑی خوشی ملتی ہے.
یار میں ایک اور بات کہوں کہ جو ہم چھوٹے تھے تو لٹریچر میں یہ پومس پڑھاتا تھا, اور ہمیشہ ہمیں یہ لگتا تھا کہ یہ جو ٹیچر ہمیں بتا رہے کہ یہ جو مطلب مقصد اس میں ہے ہمیں تو نظر نہیں آتا ہے, مگر جب آپ کی ایسے باتیں سنتے ہیں نا تو ہمیں لگتا ہے کہ یار ہر شاعر کی جو یہ مقصد ہے ہم جتنے سمجھتے ہیں مطلب مکمل کبھی نہیں سمجھ پائیں گے. بات یہ تو صحیح ہے یار.
یہ بات تو ہے یار, مطلب کافی ایسی چیزیں ہوں گی, کیسے خیالات آئے ہوں گے رائٹر کے شاعر کے میں جو ہم سوچ بھی نہیں سکتے یار, مطلب بس we can only speculate to the best of our abilities.
صحیح.
اور ساتھ میں خوبصورت چیز یہ ہے کہ آپ you can even have your own interpretation of the art,
صحیح. But most people shouldn't be allowed to. Like if you see how people, if you've like put your work out there and you see how people interpret it, like you'd have maybe 2-3 people that really take it beyond what you think is right, and those are generally your contemporaries, right? But normal people, جب وہ مقصد نکلتا ہے یار مجھے بڑی میں ناراضگی سے بھر جاتا ہوں کہ جو ہمارے مقصد ہے وہ سمجھے نہیں اور اپنی مطلب کچھ چتیا پہ لے کر آتے, مجھے اچھے نہیں لگتے. Like I'll get into this, but after Umar Sharif, I'll tell you what I think about our creative process.
But بس یہی بات تھی یار. It's like it's a bit of a David Chase type of style of
I've not heard David Chase that name in a while. I think the last time I heard it was from you as well. What say?
It must be because we talked about The Sopranos before too.
Yeah, true. But, I think that's exactly where I came from. Yeah.
But ہاں یار مطلب ایسے کافی he often has titles where the title means more than one thing,
True.
And those are it is very creative, and it's like a play on words sort of, where it means one thing but it also means another thing, and both those things are like themes that happen in that episode or in that in that segment. And yeah, I think that's why I like thought of the title, and I'm glad you liked it, man. It's like it means a lot, These are like memories that only a few people have, a few other people have. So there's only a few people who can appreciate it, and yeah, it means a lot to hear that from someone with those shared memories.
No, that title's a 10 out of 10, man. But on drawing parallels, like I read this today, I like to do what you just stated. It's much nicer to indirectly tell a story. تو میں نے آج یہ لکھا تھا کہ like just I don't know where this is, like in the future maybe things change, but as of right now کہ مجھے آپ کے بھابھی اور ہماری محبت کی پتہ نہیں کہ مطلب جو نصیب میں لکھا ہے صحیح تقدیر کیا ہے ہمیں نہیں پتہ. तो it's a question I get asked very often कि यार आप क्यों यकीन रखते हैं? Say like why do you believe that this will work out? And I wrote this today, but I've been saying this for a while कि मैं इत्तेहाद की इंतज़ार ऐसे करता हूँ जैसे रोज़े रखे हुए मुसलमान को इल्म है कि मगरिब की अजान भी आएगा. And like it's so much easier to draw a parallel to explain what I feel than it is to explain to somebody, you know, why I believe in what I believe in. And what I wrote is actually better than what I said. Like I'm not rhyming it, it's just a thought. But I like to draw parallels because it's so much easier to express, you know, when you have something else that you're drawing it with. But on titles, I also like generally when I write, I have like just one thought in my mind or like a prompt. कि an example would be like आज तो हज़म था जो मेरे जहन में पड़ा था और मुझे पता नहीं कि क्या लिखना है, मगर मुझे ये पता है कि आखिर टाइटल तो हज़म है और उसकी मकसद भी वही होगा. So it's easy for me to write like that, and I really like titles that have like double meanings, and the title is very important to me as well. But on the creative process, what I'd like to say is like I've heard this a shit ton in my poetry, yeah, because like I know you're not on Instagram, but I know you've seen like the way I write and the way it's presented. So yeah, it's in all honesty, like I write poetry, right? So the essence of it is in the words, but to me it's not that way. To me it's about the feeling, and so when I write, the text is overlaid on a background which is generally a picture of something that, and this is like a part of poetry as well, you know, trying to have an image that speaks to your poetry, which defines the aesthetic and things like that. And I like doing that as well. It's too easy to just write things like, it's if you have an image that, you know, the title, the image, the poetry, everything works together, I think that's much better. But when you have an image and you overlay text on it, first of all, it's hard to read. Secondly, my text size is so small that you cannot read it like right off. If you're on Instagram, you can't read it straight up. You will have to either zoom in and keep moving about, or take a screenshot and then like read in your gallery, right? So for the longest time, and I've been writing for a while now, for the longest time, people have been telling me, you know, your poetry is really good, but it's unreadable. And I keep telling them to just buzz off because I don't care, you know, because what I intend is like I don't write for money, I'm not famous anyway, but I don't write for fame, right? It's an outlet for my thoughts, for my emotions. So I will not compromise on the way that I want it to be seen. Like I'll listen to you, but I don't care. Like if I write, you know, black text on a white background, people will appreciate it more, but I will not remember my work. That's not the way that I want, you know, it's not the way that I kind of envision my work, and I don't want to change it. And I think it's the same for the podcast as well, because like we don't give a shit, man. Like it would be very sensible for us to be doing this, you know. In a way, like for example, if you like, I've listened to our podcast, I'm constantly chewing gum, and like I want to come back to why I chew gum, and this is a story we share, but it's annoying. Like if you actually pay attention, you can hear me chew gum, you can hear me do a bunch of really annoying things, but I don't care. Like the essence of this podcast is the fact that we're not prepared, and this is very informal, and it's very much like in the moment, you know. Like it's not professional, and it's not supposed to be. And it's also not something where like we could make this video, we could have subtitles. We don't do any of that shit because we like really like the fact that this is so effortless that we just have to get on a call and this thing will, you know, produce its own content. But I think in terms of artistic value, even though like I'm not a great artist or anything, I am not willing to compromise at all. Like the only thing I've done is perhaps to make things easier for your hubby, like I would have changed a few things. But apart from that, I've not done a single thing. And like I'm very thankful that, you know, आपकी भाभी भी जब पढ़ते हैं शायरी, he's never said, you know, like anything apart from this is beautiful, or she's done nothing but appreciates it from time to time. But on chewing gum, like I just want to go back to the fact that this is something that is Like I'm always chewing gum. Like if I'm awake, I am chewing gum, right? Like apart from the times when I'm eating, I'm not. But apart from that, literally all the time, if I'm in a meeting, if I'm meeting anybody important or anything. And I think, first of all, I hate the fact that people, you can smell, people's lunches on them, and it's really annoying to me. Like, you shouldn't smell. Like, I don't like, perfume is important, deodorant is important, but at the same time, if your mouth smells like shit, and especially smokers or any of that, I hate all of it. I really do not like talking to somebody who's like that, so I tend to chew gum very often because I'm conscious of that fact. But I think the really important bit of that is when we were kids, Karsh and I used to sit in class together, and we'd get, like, this was just serendipity again. Like, we used to chew gum because it was cool. We wanted to impress some women, or like one woman. And the fact is, we used to chew gum in class because it was not allowed, and we got caught from time to time, right? So what happened is, we sort of had a competition going of who would get caught the least. It was Courage, me, and Scooby Doo. And Scooby Doo got caught very often, but we kind of learned how to chew gum without getting caught, and it became like a thing that drove us insane. Like, I remember at that point in time, I used to go to the grocery store every day because I had to buy like a pack of gum, right? And the kids, we don't really like, they didn't have bigger packs of gum. They just had the 10 pack, and you'd finish a 10 pack in a day. Also, we were in school, the one like bande the jo mangte the कि can I have a piece of gum, and like we were dicks, but also कभी कभी जो देने पड़ते. So because we had that going on, that still stuck with me. Like, I can chew gum today without being noticeable about it. You can still hear it on the podcast from time to time. But I don't know, it stuck with me. It's so weird because, like, there's no reason for me to be chewing gum all the time. I have like 3 meals in a day. I can chew it. 2 meals in a day, so I can just chew it then. But like, it's like a lot of people have asked me why I'm always chewing gum, and part of it also, I think another thing is we have that ADHD brain, so we can't be free. So chewing gum kind of helps you take your mind off it. But like, I've gone a whole lot of places, but like, I'll give it back to you, buddy. Let's hear what you have to say.
No, man. I mean, I think some habits just stick. That's also a big thing where there's some things that I've been doing like all my life, and I doubt that I'm going to stop anytime soon.
All right.
I think it's just normal, like you pick up certain habits and they kind of just stick with you, and it could be something much worse. Like, honestly, with ADHD, right? I think you are prone to like addictive behavior, or like you get hooked to things pretty easily.
Yeah.
But it could be something worse than gum. It could be like cigarettes. Like that's very. I remember with ADHD, like with mine, many years ago, where I was having a hard time managing my ADHD, where it was like I had to be doing something all the time, or I would just not feel at ease. And that's when I started smoking a lot more too, because I would like feel like smoking a lot, just as a way of like staying occupied or having like something to do while you're, even you just can't be at ease at all. You have to be doing something.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, as far as like, addictions go, it's not a very bad one to have.
I agree, but I also want to clarify this. Like, I don't actually have a diagnosis for ADHD, and I've tried to bribe my cousin doctor into giving me one, but even he said, dude, you're just weird. But I'm jumping on the bandwagon there, and maybe somebody's going to call me out someday. I do have a problem where I need to be occupied. Like, I have one of those. You remember Johnny Bravo, and there was like this monkey that used to keep banging its hands together, and it had like the drum bass on it. What do you call it?
That's right.
Yeah, what do you call the thing, man? Like the symbols. Yeah, he used to bang it together. So that's kind of like how my mind works. That monkey's constantly going off, and I need to keep doing something. So that's not what I'm focusing on. And by the way, like I was going through my Reddit post history, and the last and this is because of our last episode, right, from the last week. But like the last comments I made on Reddit is it's like a TIL on like a Today I Learned post on Johnny Bravo, and I just popped in the comments, and it didn't like get noticed or anything. I just went there to say, the hairstyle that Johnny Bravo has is based on Brad Pitt in a movie. What was it called, man? Suede something. God damn it. I can't remember the name of the movie, but it's based on Brad Pitt's hairstyle in some movie. And that's just weird to me. Like, इतने फजूल बातें हमें क्यों पता है?
Yo, I was gonna say, in Burn After Reading, he looked exactly like Johnny Bravo.
Dude, Burn After Reading is one of my favorite obnoxious performances of Brad Pitt. Like, it's so bad, but it's so good. Like, you hate the man, but I don't know why he does it so well. Like, there's Meet Joe Black as well, where he's obnoxious. So many movies in which he's obnoxious, but like absolutely sells it, man.
I don't even know how he does it, but he's just the worst guy in that movie, dude. It's so bad.
Yeah. And I think we have a certain gravitation to people like that. We like people like that.
But he looks exactly like Johnny Bravo. Like, but I don't think that's the movie you were talking about, because it's like it wasn't out back then.
Yeah, it's a 2008 movie, but I don't remember the movie which it's actually based on. But dude, just to dampen already wet lives, Johnny Bravo is a single 30-year-old that lives with his mother. So, and his best friend is a kid that lives across from his house. So यार ज़िंदगी काफ़ी मतलब जॉनी ब्रावो को भी लड़कियां मिलते थे, मगर काफ़ी मतलब हमारी जैसी ज़िंदगी तो वैसे ही निकला भाई.
Yeah, bro. That's he was definitely a character, and he promoted a certain lifestyle that I think a lot of guys found appealing. He was like the Andrew Tate of his time, I think.
Andrew Tate with hair.
Yeah, that's oh my god. But maybe Johnny Bravo. I think these are that's when Cartoon Network really peaked. Because
how great shows.
You'll be surprised, man. Even today, I remember at school we had a day where students can wear they don't have to wear a uniform on one day.
Yeah.
One of those days.
Yeah.
And this is how I knew that Cartoon Network peaked back then, because I still saw wearing Powerpuff Girls gear,
No,
and,
dude, that is a long time ago.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, if middle schoolers now are wearing stuff from back then, it means that's those are the cartoons that really stuck, even now they're popular among kids, because they were after that Cartoon Network was just shit,
Yeah, and I think if you at the end credits, if you saw Hanna-Barbera, it meant it was a good show.
Yeah, dude, Hanna-Barbera. Yeah, seriously, man. Wasn't Tom and Jerry weren't those the creators of Tom and Jerry as well?
I think so.
Yeah, I remember, man. Tom and Jerry was a classic as well, they had some really good ones, just such entertaining cartoons to grow up on.
Yeah, Cartoon Network had a lot of I don't know, I SpongeBob was good. Nickelodeon did have some good shows as well, but even dude. Nick went to shit. Yeah, it's very similar, but and dude, what was the channel that Phil of the Future was on?
That was Disney.
Disney, right. I think we completely skipped.
But Disney's the same, man. Disney peaked around the same time as well.
Yeah, Disney had some decent shows as well. But I can't remember. I want to say Hannah Montana, but that's not the first one that comes to mind. Had a few better shows.
Phil of the Future for sure, but Boy Meets World
Boy
was
Meets
really
World.
good.
Boy Meets World was good, dude. And I don't remember what Saved by the Bell was on either, but it was a good show.
Another good one was That's So Raven on Disney.
Dude, That's So Raven is like, I hate all the rehashed versions of it, but the original was I can't, like, that kind of premise is, hard to sell, but like we bought it up entirely, buddy. Oh, they had Corey in the
I
house
know, right?
after as well. That was not good.
Yeah, that was shit, right?
Yeah.
It just didn't. I think often like spin-offs like that are pretty shitty, you know? Like
Yeah.
it never really. But Zach and Cody, dude.
Oh, The Sweet Life, yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
They're our age, and Zach, yeah, whose name I think is Dylan Sprouse, is I think he's married to Barbara Paulin, who is a model, and before like I met your hubby, I used to think she looked good, but like he's done pretty well.
No way, man. That's wild.
Oh, do you
Time
remember?
flies, dude.
Yeah, do you remember? Like one of my favorite moments in our friendship is, and like we have a shit ton, yeah. But Dylan's brother Cole Sprouse was dating this woman whose name I can't remember. Right, she's one of the actresses from Riverdale, and our doctor friend, and I'm not going to abuse him because he's probably going to listen to this somehow. You're a great guy, man. We love you. But we had an argument in my car, right? And it was me and him. And now look, it looks like a superficial argument, right? But it's not, because at the point of time he was trying to buy into a way of life that he made his own reality. I don't want to explain that one. I'm sure you understand. But he told me, that girl's cute, and I said, no, she's not. So he said, no, sometimes girls look like shit, but then when they actually dress up and put on their makeup and put on a nice dress, they look hot. And I said, no, that's not how being beautiful works. Like, you could just wake up and not be dressed, not do your hair, not do your makeup, and you'd still look beautiful. Like, an example would be like Aishwarya Rai, or like anybody who the world kind of says is beautiful. If you, I don't want to say this the best example now because that's your puppy, but like beautiful people are always beautiful, right? You don't have to put an effort. It's more like a natural thing. Like the other part of it is just being dressed up. So we actually had a very long argument, and I remember we were outside Tehsil petrol station, and they had a Turkish place where he bought a shawarma from. And in between all of this, he said, let's get somebody to like weigh in on this. And he called Karsh, who is, hours away in another country and probably busy with something else. But he thought, this is the best arbitrator for this argument that we have, which I don't disagree with, Karsh knows a thing or two about beauty. So he calls Karsh, and it's very easy to get trapped into a certain perspective, especially when it's a friend, and this is why I kind of appreciate you. Like, if somebody calls me and says, dude, I want you to settle an argument and this is what I'm thinking, if I was in the middle of something, I'd just say, you're right, buddy, and then hang up, right? So he called Karsh and he said, listen, we're having an argument, Fahad here thinks, beautiful people are always beautiful, and I think that if a woman puts in effort, she'd be beautiful. Like, it's not something that always happens. And Karsh, at this point, right, he's explained his viewpoint to Karsh. I haven't explained mine. And he's been on the phone with Karsh for about 10 minutes, and I haven't talked to Karsh at all. I've just said salam, right? So at the end of all this, he asks Karsh, what do you think? And he says, mate, I think I'm going to have to go with Fahad on this one. And that, to be honest, is one of my favorite moments of our friendship, because without a word spoken, we were on the same page. But I'll give it back to you now. But I don't know what you think.
Dude, I think I completely forgot this happened.
Yeah.
But it's vaguely coming back to me now, and I even now I think it was a no-brainer. It was. I think he was talking out of his ass,
यार बात ये है कि Like I understand what you're saying, but the danger in that is people kind of live their lives that way, you know? Like sometimes कभी कभी यार मैं हमारे दोस्त की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ कि वो बुरा ना माने मगर sometimes guys like us, right? Like both of us haven't given up on our dreams, you know? We've seen or I've seen one beautiful woman in my life personally, and I would not be able to settle for anybody else after that, right? And I'm sure it's the same for you, because I know like इतनी खूबसूरत बंदी तो है मैं कैसे किसी और को इसकी जगह रख सकता हूँ मगर कुछ लोग हैं यार कि वो यकीन मानते हैं कि you know my girlfriend is beautiful, she just doesn't look that way all the time कि कभी कभी हम शादियों पर जाती तो वो खूबसूरत लगती. Like there are people who actually look like that or like think like that, and I really hate like if to live in that kind of make believe world, you know, कि like you pretend it doesn't exist or things like that. So it was really important to me that somebody actually thought I wasn't being an idiot, but like he was talking out of his ass. I don't disagree.
But no doubt, man. I'm glad I was able to settle that. You know, it was one of the easier cases I've seen, though.
So the easier judgments you passed, yeah, man.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, the number of like disputes that we've settled by just being, you know, just going with instinct is too high, man. I mean, the answer's obvious in most cases. People just believe whatever they want to. But where were we, man? Like Umar Sharif से तो शुरू हुए अभी पता नहीं कहाँ है. Oh, Sweet Life, Cartoon Network. Sweet Life was good.
Sweet Life was, man. Yeah, definitely. Like, it was really entertaining. I liked London Tipton's character as well, you know?
Yeah.
Her and Maddie.
Yeah. Ashley Tisdale.
Mr. Mosby.
Mr. Mosby was king, but he was a great actor.
Esteban.
Oh, that was way too stereotypical, you know? That was a bit too much, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe. Like, now that I look back at it, you're right,
yeah.
You know? But I really like Maddie and Tipton, which is an interesting, you know, kind of like friendship
dynamic,
where...
Yeah, it's a very, like, no, it's very Paris Hilton and, what was her friend's name? She had a show, Paris Hilton had a show, which is, where she just do normal people shit, but I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, dude, you're right. I remember that. I forgot what it was called, but yeah, she would just do like a job and stuff, right? And
with her friend,
and like really,
her friend is famous, man, but I can't remember what her name is. Something with
Linda Song, the one who played Tipton.
No, Paris Hilton's best friend on that show.
Oh, Ashley Tisdale.
No, Paris Hilton's. No, Paris, not London Tipton. Like London Tipton is based on, Paris Hilton.
Oh yeah, that's right. Like the Tipton Hotel, like the Hilton
Hotel. Yeah, it's just a rip-off.
Makes sense. But yeah, what was her friend's name? I can't remember.
I can't remember either. She's actually famous, but it's escaping me now. But like Sweet Life it taught us a lot of things. Like also like the kids growing up, and I think the time we watched it was kind of around the time, you know, 06 when we were kind of discovering women, and the kids on the show, like the twins, were just doing that themselves. So I think it was pretty close to what we were doing in life.
I think that's a big part of it, you know, and I think that's why Boy Meets World was so unique because man, if you watch season 1, right, they're in like grade 1 or they're all in like grade 1, you know, like all the actors.
Oh, like dude, that's true. Like, yeah, I didn't actually think of that, but that's true.
Like Corey, Topanga, they're all in like elementary school, you know?
I'm surprised by how many names you remember, dude. Well done, but like, yeah, true.
No, that's probably because that show, like, we grew up watching it, so I remember it very well.
Yeah.
But, Corey and Topanga, because we loved Topanga, man, like, when she was older.
Yeah.
Like, man, Topanga was really something, you know? Like, I don't even remember her, like, real name. Like, I just know her as Topanga.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time remembering her name as well. Because I think at that time, like, you couldn't just Google somebody. You could, but you couldn't find their Instagram profile. But,
That's
dude,
right.
like, Boy Meets World, Topanga, dude, she used to wear a backwards hat. Did you remember? Uh, from
Um,
from time to time, she used to wear, like,
yeah, I think.
yeah, because I have this picture, which I sent to your bhabhi. And like I told her this, right? Ki Topanga is like really long, straight gold locks, yeah. And there's this one scene or a few scenes where she's wearing like a baseball hat backwards, and at that point in time, that was so engraved in our memory as the like standard for good-looking woman that I told your bhabhi, and I'm not very proud of this, but I told her, you know, like you're obviously I'm incredibly attracted to you, and you're the most beautiful woman in the world. But if you ever wear a backwards hat, right? Forgive me, but I will not be able to, save myself from falling in love with you, because that's how much of an impact it has on, like our childhood and our definitions of what beauty is has on us even today.
Yeah, man, the backwards hat is like definitely something we love. That
Yeah.
kind of like semi tomboy-ish look.
Yeah, exactly. Was our
Like
thing.
I think Avril was big back then too, you know, and Avril really perfected that look of like the tomboy.
Absolutely,
Uh,
dude. Avril Lavigne has like a series, like Skates Ago is. I want to come back to this because I have a very embarrassing like email ID I want to talk about, but it does it like we've always kind of like your hubby is kind of like that. She's very feminine, but at the same time she is kind of tomboyish in a few aspects, which is nice because like, she's into cars, a few other things which are not strictly speaking a feminine thing, but I find that incredibly attractive.
Same here, man. I think it's cool because there were always girls who were like they're like feminine still.
Yeah.
Like, like Avril is like, like this cute blonde girl, like, or at least she was when we were growing up,
She still looks very
Yeah.
similar, she hasn't changed much.
Yeah, she really hasn't, honestly.
I think it's the eyeshadow,
but-
it's the same makeup, she's still doing the same shit.
I believe it. No, man. She aged well too, And,
Yeah, for a white woman, that's rare.
Yeah, definitely. But even Taylor Swift, dude, she looks very young still. I know she's been around for a very long time.
Yeah, she's born 1989, isn't she? She's 5 years older than us.
Yeah, and she still looks very like youthful, and like you can't tell that she's been, making music for that long.
मगर यार ज़माना तो बर्बाद कर दिया उसने. Like as much as I don't really have too much of a personal problem with her, I hate her fan base.
Yeah, Swifties, I know what you mean, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, her fan base can be pretty toxic,
They're always
Hey,
toxic. I think we don't need to speak in like conditionals anymore. Like man pe log.
Yeah, and she's pretty overplayed too, I don't mind her music, but it gets played a little too much,
Dude, even when we were younger, like I remember, you remember Channel V and like MTV back in the day?
Yeah, of course.
So there was this song that came out when we were in high school, because that was the Jonas brother, Joe Jonas, and her, Romeo and Juliet, right? And god damn it, man, I hate that song so much. Because it was played so much, man. Like, everywhere you go, you want to go to Starbucks, McDonald's, wherever you go, the song's being played. And it's not a very good love song. Like, in the history of love songs, there's been a lot better. That was probably just written today, But I know what you mean. It's everywhere. It's like she's the Celine Dion of our generation.
She really is, dude. Like, that's a perfect analogy, by the way. But, yeah, I'm trying to remember what that song was called. Wasn't it, like, a love story or something like that?
Oh, god damn it, man. Yeah. I'm surprised by how much you remember your memories like it belongs in a museum, but it's called a love story, and it's a very like Romeo and Juliet thing that's going on between the two of them. I'll be your Romeo, you be my Romeo, we be your Juliet, something like that. And I
Yeah, she
I
definitely.
hate
That's
the Jonas
definitely the
Brothers.
song
Yeah.
lyric.
I hate the Jonas Brothers as well.
Yeah, dude, they're annoying,
And the fan base
and
again, like I don't know, like Jonas Brothers in our time is like One Direction fans now, like it's honestly, I'm telling you this because in my past experience of having known One Direction fans, sub Bewafai, so like it's very good idea to stay clear of these people.
I agree, man. And like, I think they even had didn't they have some members in common? Like, I'm trying to think of who was it in the Jonas Brothers who, was it fucking Harry Styles who's now like, yeah, Harry Styles was in the Jonas. No, sorry,
No.
in the One Direction, right?
Yeah, he's in One Direction. Yeah.
Yep. And now he's like his own thing,
Yeah. Also,
But he still has the fan base, man.
He
His
does.
fan base
Yeah.
really sucks.
It does, dude. You don't know how hard this is hitting because like the Bewafai I told you about, वो Harry Styles की बड़ी मार थे यार. मगर like that's this funny fact about Harry Styles, like he used to be a man. Oh man, I genuinely did hate One Direction before, but like आजकल यार मेरी बड़ी नफरत चल रहा है.
But yeah, Harry Styles is a coffee character, and like his music sounds very generic, like I think he just perfected that generic sound, and like that's just his whole thing,
मुझे पता नहीं यार, ये पहले बंदा है जिसको मैं describe करूँगा कि he's a basic bitch, but
okay, yeah, I've seen that.
But dude, Zayn Malik, who's from Bradford, yeah.
Yeah, he's from fucking Bradford, dude.
So he released a song, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, with this Pakistani band called Aur. And it's like it's a very weird confluence because like they're from two parts of the world and they have nothing in common, but it really surprised everybody. But the thing about that song is, right, everybody hated it. Like Zayn Malik ki jo bhi baki tha wo bhi gaye bhai. And like I personally hate Zayn Malik because of the fact that he's plastered across every barbershop that you'll ever go to, right? But
oh my god,
I've also never liked his music too much.
Yeah, it's pretty generic, I think like that was the thing with a lot of the boy bands is they just had made this like generic boy band sound, but the girls loved it because the guys all looked like models,
Yeah, I want to tell you two things, man, because like all these things really annoy me. Like One Direction started from what's the name of the show? Britain's Got Talent, yeah. On which like Simon Cowell is a judge, and like we were fans of the OG American Idol. You remember like Kelly Clarkson, Ryan Seacrest that time.
For sure.
And like Simon Cowell, like literally before he's like the one who made One Direction his thing, right? So it was, but like they were all different kids, like. They all got on to Britain's Got Talent, and he actually put these five together. And he said, it's so easy to make a boy band famous that I'll do it with 5 nobodies. That was literally what he was doing. He took, 5 kids who looked decent and could sing, and then made them the biggest boy band at the time, right? And which I think is exactly what you're saying. They're very generic, but like, bandiya to marte us par. And I don't know if your bhabhi has like embarrassing history of like being a boy band fan, but I don't think so. I think she's always had good taste ki wo mere saath hai. but the other thing is and this like really annoys me, right? Justin, the Canadian dickhead, Justin Bieber, right? in our minds is like this absolute dickhead who we just hate, right? But the fact that I hate about him is I always thought of him as like somebody who's from the next generation, you know, who's younger than us, the stupid young kid. But I hate the fact, and I was reminded of this a couple of days ago, that he's actually 3 days older than me. So he's literally 1994. So I can't play it down. Like कभी किसी ने कुछ मुझसे कहा तो like the best comeback they have against me is that I'm the same age as Justin Bieber. So like, God forbid, like I have kids and someday they find this out.
Dude, that's honestly, that blows my mind because I still think of him from like his first music video, you know, where
Do you remember Baby?
Even his voice hadn't cracked then, you remember? Like,
Yeah, like dude, the song Baby was like big on YouTube. It was like the biggest video at the time, and like I used to be in the gym and these dickheads were playing Baby all the time. Like I had to tell these people, यार mood खराब मत कर लो.
वाकई मतलब Baby और एक वो और भी गाना था One Time.
Oh yeah, dude. I hate all...
One Time.
Yeah, dude. I don't even know कि इसकी मतलब क्या है भाई. Like ये लड़की क्यों इस पर गिरता है यार. अगर मैं लड़की था और किसी बंदे ने मुझसे ये आकर कहा, I'd tell him to grow a pair of balls.
यार वाकई में क्योंकि क्या बंदा था bro, पर बंदिया, you know, they really like that look that he had, like the boy face.
बंदिया तो relate कर सकते हैं, वो भी काफी बंदिया जैसे लगता है, हर हरकत भी ऐसे.
हाँ यार, पर अभी भी उसकी बंदिया बहुत मरते हैं, you know, as he's grown older, I think like even now like women love him, you know.
Yeah. I think we missed out on like milking, you know, our baby face looks.
Oh, bro, हम भी, you know, in terms of I don't know, we've about this, but we wouldn't really want to be famous either, you know.
Yeah, I think if we were in a band, it wouldn't be like a boy band. It'd be more like Simple Plan, something like Sum 41 in or like Blink 182, something like that. Not, you know, boy band.
Yeah, dude, you described our aesthetic perfectly. Like Blink 182 or Simple Plan, like or Green Day, dude. We would be Green Day.
Green Day, yeah, dude. Like Green Day. What's his name? And Armstrong. What am I missing? What's his first name? Dude, the lead singer from Green Day.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either, but I saw him on the news recently for that thing he did with the Trump thing, right?
Yeah. Oh, God damn it, what was his name? Billy Joe Armstrong.
Billy Joe Armstrong, that's correct, correct. Dude, I completely forgot.
Yeah, I can't believe it. And Billy Joe, like, is so close to Billy Joel. But yep. Dude, in 2012 or 13, right, Billy Joe Armstrong, right, was at this stage show, and he was performing, right? It was Green Day performing, and Justin Bieber was up next, and the entire crowd was going crazy for Justin Bieber, and he kind of made a scene and came onto stage while they were performing, right? So Billy Joe Armstrong got really angry, and he said, "Kid, I've been in this business and performing before you were born," right? And he physically assaulted him. I love Billy Joe Armstrong for doing that, but like he also knew he pissed, you know, a lot of 16-year-old women off, so he admitted himself into rehab after that. But he's my hero.
Hey, no way, dude! I had no idea that happened. Yeah. I'm surprised that bigger news, or that I hadn't heard of it, because
Billy Joe has good PR, man. Like I read this on Reddit, but like he didn't need to go to rehab. That's a perfectly normal reaction. But like he handled it well.
Yeah, definitely, man, for sure. But I'm just surprised because I remember when the whole thing happened with Chris Rock and Will Smith. That went big. Like viral. Just like was talking about it for like, you know, for months.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised I'd never heard of this.
Yeah, and on the Chris Rock thing, yeah, like I recently watched, there was a new special out on Netflix, which was Dave Chappelle's, in which he talks about it, Right, so Chris Rock, right after the show, like he stayed on stage, he did his bit, he actually presented the rest of the night. And he went off stage, and Dave Chappelle called him. And that was the only phone call that Chris Rock actually picked up. And what was interesting was about 3-4 months later, Dave Chappelle was performing, and Chris Rock was he was backstage, right? And a dude jumps on stage with a knife and tries to assault Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle's bodyguard comes running onto stage, but he's wearing dress shoes, so he slips. So Dave actually had to disarm this dude himself, right? And so what happens is, and it's a big show. They thought he had a gun, and it was like a big concern about what was going to happen. So it was big news as well. But then after this happens, right? Dave Chappelle was kind of dazed and confused, but Chris Rock comes out from backstage, takes the mic, and he says, this is what it felt like. And Dave, kind of got so angry that, he stole his moment to just speak about what happened to him. But, I love that, the relationship between them. And it's very hard to explain how it feels, but I guess if you have somebody in your life that you're close to, you can do that.
Oh man, for sure, dude. I think it's really sad that it had to go down like that. It's like, I think, it was also a time when people's tensions were really high at the time. I think, people coming out of a pandemic where everyone's mental health was shit, man, back then.
आज
भी है यार, आज तो है ही वैसे,
तब भी था.
But just people being cooped up, and it felt like everyone was going through some shit,
Yeah.
Man, it's unfortunate it went down. Another moment that I think is sad, and it's still talked about to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even more so, even though there was no physical violence, it's still talked about to this day. It's when Kramer went on the rant.
Oh, dude, yeah, it's very infamous, yeah.
Dude, that was really something, man. You wouldn't expect it from someone like him,
Yeah, he's pretty collected normally.
He's always just seemed like the calm and cool as a cucumber type of guy.
Yeah. But
man, I mean, that's the thing is, I don't think that these things, especially, I don't know, I do think anyone if they're put in a stressful situation, they can say things they don't mean,
True, and we've experienced that ourselves, but we're almost at the hour mark. In this one, we went from Omar Sharif to Chris Rock, but what do you think we should call this one?
Let's see. I don't know. Do you have any ideas? Because nothing really comes to mind for me.
I don't know. I think the most defining one for me was Boy Meets World, because it's kind of like our journey of discovering, pop culture, but maybe something to do with that.
Yeah, man. Why not just Boy Meets World? Because it's also about us meeting the world, as us growing up.
Boys Meet World, yeah.
Yeah, Boys Meet World.
The boys has played well today.
Dude, that's actually brilliant, man. Holy shit.
Yeah. God damn it.
And the boys.
For anybody who's not getting that reference, for a long time, Shahid Afridi was captain of the Pakistan cricket team and gave post-match interviews. That's all we'd like to say.
No, dude, it wasn't Shahid Afridi, it was Inzamam.
Oh, Inzamam, right. Sorry, apologies. Inzamam, right. No, my bad.
जिसको प्यार से सब आलू उड़ाते थे.
Yeah. Man, people were mean back then, eh? Like, being fat phobic
That
was
was,
cool.
yeah. And honestly, the one time they did that, he like I don't know, he wasn't even that overweight at the time, you know, like
True,
when that
true.
happened.
Like looking back, he wasn't even all that fat. But we're almost there. So this was Pointless Stories with Karshan FS, episode number 19. Boys Meet World. We'll see you in the next one.